You know, I believe that Christians, and by Christians I mean Bible-believing Christians, are facing a big dilemma in this day and age. We can all see that the whole world is in crisis. From east to west, north to south, the world is in crisis. Probably one of the worst crises we have ever seen. And we as Bible believers think that we are close to the end and that Christ will return soon. Our reason for this is not simply that the world is in crisis. The world has been in crisis before. But because of what is taking place in the Middle East with Israel, these events make these times different from all other times. Firstly, the Bible said that Israel would be scattered throughout the world, and in AD 70 that happened. Secondly, the Bible said that Israel would return to the land again after a long time. And at the turn of the 20th century, we saw this happen. In 1948, of course, Israel became a nation again. And then thirdly, at some point, the Bible said, the entire nations of the world would turn against Israel and try and take the land away from them. And of course, this is happening right now. Zechariah chapter 12 tells us about the betrayal of Israel. And it's obvious that we are now in those days of the 12th chapter of Zechariah. The United Nations is trying to take the land away from them, or trying to make them share it with the Palestinians, and obviously this is not going to work. Sometime shortly after this that Zechariah speaks about, and we do not know how short that shortly is, Christ will return and rescue Israel. Unlike Harold Camping and his claims, we do not know the date Christ will come, but we do know that it must be close. You see, Israel is our sign that we are close to the end. And that's why these times are different from any other times, because all these prophecies in the Bible are and have been fulfilled. But this can give Christians a real dilemma. And that dilemma is, what should we be doing at this time? The problem with believing in the end time prophecies is that we can fall into a state of inevitability. In other words, why try to change anything? The rot that has set in surely is inevitable. So why try to change that which cannot be changed? Now personally, I have a problem with this mentality. In Deuteronomy chapter 1, we read that 12 spies were sent out to spy out the land of Canaan. And 10 of them came back with a very negative report of their chance of doing so. You see, there were giants in the land, and they didn't believe that they could overcome the giants. Now, we all know the outcome of that story. The state of our world today, I think we can all agree, is a giant of a problem. But you know, folks, so was Goliath, and he was toppled by a young shepherd boy called David. These are not days for inactivity by Bible-believing Christians. Just the opposite. These are days for doing exploits. Remember in Daniel chapter 11 and verse 32, and Daniel is speaking into troubled times and dangerous times such as these. And this is what Daniel said. He said, the people that know their God shall be strong and shall do exploits. For me, there can be no dilemma. Personally, I think we are so privileged to be alive in these days. We are seeing things happen that no other generation of Christians has ever seen. Bible prophecy is unfolding in front of our eyes. So let these thoughts refresh us this week as we go into next week. And let us seek God for what we might be doing for him. You know, the darker the hour, the darker the time, the greater need for light. And Jesus says to us in Matthew chapter 5, verse 14, you are the light of the world. So in these days of darkness, we need to be the light. We are the light, Jesus said. And so our participation in our society is of paramount importance. You know, there's something that each and every one of us can do for the Lord. And right now we should be taking these words of Jesus seriously. You are the light of the world. And we should be asking him, Lord, what can we do? What can I do? It may be some grand job that some of us may be called to do. It may be just a little job of witnessing to a few folks. But we are the light of the world, and we need at this time to let our lights be shining in these very, very dark days. So as we go into a new week, I want to leave you with these thoughts, and I want to encourage you. Seek, ask, knock, and the Lord will show you your part to play in these dark, dark days. God bless you. Have a wonderful